On what?
What do you mean?
Like, oh, you just go to wardrobe. Press C and then just go to wardrobe.
Oh, okay.
And then you can just move it over.
Yeah, wardrobe is the cosmetics only, whereas character is what you're actually wearing. Wolf, what level you get to?
I'm only 15 as when I logged off the other day. I really didn't log on much yesterday at all. I was doing a whole bunch of real life shit, and I went out and bought some stuff for my computer. I got my desk and my chair, and I bought a green screen.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, green screens are cheap, dude. They're like $50.
Where would you get one?
You just ordered it, dude. Here, I'll send you that one sec. Let me just let me do it on my phone so I can actually send you the link in fucking Discord.
I gotta pay rent tomorrow. Rent and internet.
This one's $14 and it's huge. You want this one?
Let me see.
It's 10 by 10.
The Discord link.
One sec. I haven't linked it yet. I just was looking at the. This one's from Luna Studio. This is I should have got this one, but I didn't get this one. I got a different one. The one I got comes with like hangers and shit like that.
Hey, who owns Vermintide?
I do.
Everybody in our group does.
Yeah.
No, I meant like the people who developed it.
Oh, who developed it? Let me see real quick. Let's see. Vermintide 2 and Vermintide 1 were equally developed by Fat Shark Studios.
I thought you said the fucking people who made Total War developed
no,
own the IP.
They own the IP, yeah.
So how's Vermintide making a game?
Because they paid $1 million plus.
Damn.
Their first game, Vermintide 1, do you know how that came out before Total War Warhammer 2 and Total War Warhammer?
Yeah.
So here's how that happened. And this is the only reason Vermintide is in existence, I think, actually. Vermintide 1 came out, they got the IP. They just paid a little bit of money for it because nobody was making Total War fantasy games, or Warhammer fantasy games, sorry. Nobody was. So they paid a little bit of money for the IP, made their game. Then Total War came along and was like, can we pay you guys for this IP early? So Total War bought Fat Shark's IP from them for the duration of 2020. Then Fat Shark was like, hey, we want to make Vermintide 2. And they're like, cool, you can pay us to use the IP. You don't got to buy it from us. You can just essentially rent it from us. Like I was telling you, you can kind of rent the IP, but it's fucking expensive as shit. The most money I could probably legitimately pull together for a game would be like $250,000 by myself. And that's with a loan. And I already went and checked the bank.
And how much did it cost to make Vermintide?
Vermintide 1 or Vermintide 2?
2.
2, its overall production quality was about $500,000. A little bit more than that. That's just the overall, spectrum. It's less than $1 million, but they paid a lot of money for their IP. If you're just talking about the development engine, paying people, it was about probably like $600,000.
I'm just saying, man, I'm patient enough to wait till 2020.
I found...
Yeah, but the question is, like, I can't be the one putting in all the money and shit into this. That's the thing. I
don't get money for that shit, man. If it happens, I'll help.
Like, it just comes down to, like, I was thinking about messaging the Total War, like emailing them and being like, hey, I have a game idea, because they have a whole suggestion line for people to suggest games. And here's the thing about games. I might not even have to develop a thing. We might not even have to develop it. Companies come along and buy the rights to your idea. Like, if you have a good enough idea, even if it's just an idea, no engine, no mechanical development, nothing, they'll buy the idea. They won't buy it for a whole bunch of money, but they'll buy it for like $200,000.
Yeah, but still, developing it would be more interesting, to be honest.
Well, no, just selling ideas is a way to make more money, technically, and get much.
Developing a game is cool, but you develop a game and then people play it for like a year to 2 years and then you gotta make another one?
Hey man, it feels more comforting than like, I helped make this shit.
Oh yeah, no, that's
true.
But would you rather have a yacht or would you rather be able to claim you made a video game? I'd rather have a yacht. And
I would rather have money to pay the rent. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'd rather have half-naked bitches and a yacht. I'm gonna be honest with you. That may sound superfluous, but video games are awesome, but titties are way cooler. I'm gonna be straight up. That's just me. But my whole point is that if we made a good enough idea and sold the rights to the idea, and then used that money to develop a game off the back of it, that's the way I was thinking about going.
I'm gonna say I got 2 game ideas. We can try to sell one of them if you want to put it towards another. That's what you want to do.
Yeah, I was thinking about turning nothing into something, and then using that something to develop something better.
Like, you actually want to do that? Because I can tell you my second idea.
The best way to fill me in on what you have is to write it out for me.
Well, I was gonna put in the simple terms right now.
You can put it in simple terms, and you can tell me right now, I'm all ears. But if you really are serious, I need you to write it out for me and email it to me.
Have you ever played Battlefront?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
The old one.
Yes.
Yes, the old great ones, the best games
I was thinking of Warhammer 40k Conquest. Like,
That's actually a great idea, Lenark. I'm not
move
gonna lie.
planet to planet, fuck shit up. Beautiful.
40k
First
or
person. Maybe co-op.
40k or fantasy.
40k for the Conquest one.
Okay, then
The more story one is fantasy one that I really want to do. I really want to be a part of myself, but 40k one I don't give a fuck.
Wolf, this 1421, the 10 by 10, it doesn't come with anything to hold it up. It's just the cloth.
Remember I said, yeah, the $50 one has the anchors.
Yeah, well, I found a 6x6 that has the anchors and only costs where is this? $19.99 plus shipping.
Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. I didn't know what size you needed.
I mean,
I
6x6
needed
is enough because it's gonna go right behind me.
Yeah, I got a 10 by 10 just because my room, like, where it's so funny. Where my desk is like, okay, I have my desk, my monitor's on top of it, and then my computer's off to the right, not on the desk, but like on another like post. And then I have a big wolf, like a huge wolf, like tapestry, like sitting behind my. Here, let's take a picture. This is why am I fucking describing this? We live in the 21st century. What the fuck am I doing?
Anyways, I'm hopping back in the game.
Yeah. Okay. See, check general, and my actual like space for recording is 10 by 10.
Do you all just have fucking pets or some shit? Like,
We have what?
companions like this?
We kind of went with like Zerg builds. We all ended up with a pet of some sort, except for Superman. He didn't. He went primalist too.
Wait, you got a pet build too?
He said
What?
the primalist could summon it, but I didn't see any evidence.
I don't think the primalist can summon anything. What did you say to me?
You went for a pet build too?
Me?
Yeah.
Do you not remember my cat
Oh, yeah, I remember.
and my wyvern and shit? Yeah,
Yes.
I just like remember my whole build. Like I was telling you, I looked it up on YouTube because I found a cool one that I actually liked on YouTube, and I was like, okay, I can follow that and have a decent build until I get my what is it? My 36 summon greater vicious wyvern. That'll be my like best pet because he doesn't scale up to 36. He scales up to max level. So that's really nice. Whereas all the other pets only scale up to 36. So that'll be really, really very nice. And most of the it's just Beastmaster, Paladin, and Paragon. I'm just stacking tons of buffs. It's more like it's a PvE build, but it works in PvP by switching out Paragon for another tree, and it works just fine. So it's a very supportive like buff build. Everybody gets buffs, and when you're in a party with me, if you kill something, you get health back, you get fucking damage, crit, wisdom, strength, dexterity, fucking everything. I mean, it's not even really a tank. It's just like a front line. It's like a Paladin in WoW. It's like if a Ret Paladin in WoW actually had group utility. You know what I mean? Instead of just fucking hitting stuff and pressing bubble. Where are you guys at?
I'm in the starter zone. What's this? Soul Purge deals damage over 4 seconds, restores 10% of the mage's primary pet's maximum health each second. Okay.
Yeah, that's a cool
Yeah.
build.
The question, Wolf, is which idea would you actually like to stealing, which one would you sell?
What would sell? I mean, 40K would get purchased up really quick because Eternal Crusade already has a game and their game's tanking, so maybe they'd be interested in, kind of trying to restart their IP. It really requires emails being sent out and me asking people those kind of questions and getting solid answers. The real issue in gaming development right now is that nobody really has solid answers in. IPs cost a lot of money, and it's really hard to find actual developers that know what they're doing. It's gotten me to the point where I'm sitting here going, man, should I just fucking Osiris New Dawn? It's developed by 5 people, right? I'm just debating if I should just learn game development myself. I'm a modder. I can mod all day on Unreal Engine. I'm good at that, but I just don't care to for games like Ark and stuff. I was interested for Dark and Light, but it's a waiting game for Dark and Light, and I'll respect that.
How many years did it take for them to make what they had for Osiris enough to put it on Steam and sell it?
Yeah, and that's with
5
people
who know what they're doing.
So I'm going to, the real question is I need to find people who are willing to join our community that are developers. And if I can't, I'm fucked. It's just, I'm doing a lot of it by myself right now, and that makes it very difficult.
I think I know a lot of artists people that.
Well, it really could, if you're seriously wanting to do this, be proactive about it. If you can get somebody to draw up even just some concept art for a few characters, that's proactivity. I can piece things together, talk to people, talk to engineers, talk to people that hold IPs and handle licensing rights. But when it comes to getting all this together, it is I'm gonna be straight with you. If nobody else helps, this ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
And by help I mean proactivity, not asking me what needs to be done, just going out and be yo dude, I got some concept art for this thing, or I got a storyboard idea here, or just anything like that. It doesn't have to be anything specific. I'm not bashing. I'm just saying I need help with this. I cannot do it alone. It's not physically possible.
Yeah. I know. I got it. But the one for the fantasy world though,
that's my passion project. That's what I want to do.
You want to do that? I had the idea of it being more closer to kind of like Mountain Blade Warband, but open world in a way.
Yeah, we were all on the same page.
A little more interactive, but heavily focused on violent shit.
Yeah, like Vermintide. Vermintide does one thing really right. It heavily focuses on really fun and engaging violent combat. What it does
Warhammer. Warhammer needs violent combat.
Yeah, it does. If you're not doing violent combat that feels good and concussive, you might as well fuck off. But where Vermintide sucks is it incorrectly displays bright wizards. It has no replayability really to it, and all of the items and crafting and collecting, it sucks.
Not to mention it has 0 mod support for longevity.
Yeah, and 0 mod support.
And I was thinking of a class system almost.
Oh yeah, class system.
So if you're orc, you can choose to be big on a normal orc or a goblin or some shit that you can kind of progress whatever path you want that particular character is able to do.
Yep.
So you stick to the lore pretty good. Who doesn't want to be a fucking Imperial Zealot?
Oh.
No, exactly. Yeah, you have to have it.
Or a Witch Hunter.
Really, Rift is the best class game I've ever played, I think. I'm trying to be honest when I say that. If we're talking about modern games, Rift's not perfect, but if you look at the class system, it's a really good example of how to properly do classes in a game.
Yeah, man, but I really want the combat system to be very close to, what the fuck is that game called? Chivalry. Chivalry does it good.
And you gotta remember, too, the more shit you add on, the less shit, the more, you want to do with the thing, the more time it takes. So good combat system, that's 6 months development time. Good class system, it's another 5 months development time. And you're talking about optimizing all that shit.
Man, yeah, but there's so many of these half-assed release games. I'd rather take a long time and do it right than do it quick.
Yeah, but development time.
Who's gonna pay the bills along that whole time, dude? Nobody's gonna work for free. Okay, if I'm complete transparency with you guys right now, I have $23,000 in my bank account. I can go get a loan for maybe $250 with my credit. Maybe $250. That's all I can get. That won't even pay for a studio. That won't even pay, if we're gonna need to figure out how to get some real fucking money together.
You could greenlight it.
And I could greenlight it, but then I have to have something to show somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to do crowdfunding. Be probably the best.
Yeah, I need to have
That's what
somebody if I want to do that. And I could, and that's the thing. I can do artwork. Like I did a really good T-Rex in Arma. A Jurassic Arma, which, like, that was my mod. Like, I could do good shit, but I can't do good shit if I'm like. The problem is I don't know what you guys can do to help.
I don't know. My girlfriend's going to college for a graphic design, advertising, and all that, so she might be able to help. And she knows a lot of art students, so I could probably find people.
Graphic design, huge help. If you can get somebody to do graphic design and help out, that's amazing.
And it'll look good on her portfolio, so I don't think she'll say no if she can do it.
I mean, fuck, it could even end up being a permanent job for her if it takes off.
You want voice work? I can do voices. You know, I can do the orc voices pretty well.
Oh, I know you got voices. I'm not talking about, like, with all due respect, I'm not talking about, like, extras, you could say, like art and stuff like that. I'm talking about
like programmers and artists and stuff that
those
you need to
guys
get.
are gonna want $30 to $50 an hour, and nothing less. That's what I've been looking at job listings. I've been trying to find a programmer, because if I can just find a single programmer, right, and be like, hey dude, here's what I want you to do, I can get him started on that, and then I could greenlight it. But the problem is, once I find that programmer and greenlight it, I gotta pay that programmer still. So the only other way I could do this is greenlight it and then go over to fucking crowdfunding and try and crowdfund the bitch off the back of the greenlight. And that would be really difficult, and it could completely turn me into one of those vilified game developers where everybody's like, fuck this guy, you know, like, what's that?
The Stomping Lands guy.
Yeah, like the other MMO too. What's that other one? The one that's coming out, like, that's not out yet. Fucking
Chronicles of Illyria?
Yeah, Chronicles of Illyria. Like, that dude's getting so much shit now. Like, people are threatening him with like fraud lawsuits and shit.
Serious?
Yeah, false advertising, dude. And that's the thing people don't understand about these video games is when they get finished, it's impossible to go after them legally. But before they're finished, when they charge, you know, $5,000 for one of their packs, the thing is, well, they've stepped into the realm of they're no longer crowdfunding. They're taking in, like, that when you buy a game, you're not buying a game. You're technically renting a share of the game. You become a shareholder, and you own a small portion of that game and the account that you own and the money that you spent for it, et cetera, et cetera.
How do I switch weapons?
Z.
I finally got a ranged weapon.
And you got to be really careful with that. I'm trying to do it, guys. I'm paying a lot of attention. I'm looking at it. I'm really trying to make it happen. It's just I've never done it before, so it's all a lot of confusing stuff. And I'm not saying you guys aren't helping or anything. It's just like I'm just telling you what I've been going through. And you know, I spent almost all day yesterday.
Yeah, man, my kitchen's about to open. I'm gonna be very in and out spectrum, so I don't know how much this I provide direction. I can get people at least.
Well, the first, like, everything in the beginning has nothing to do with anybody with me, and that's the truth. So to get it all started, it's kind of quote unquote all on me, which sucks, but also is the truth, and that's just kind of how it goes. So with it all being on me, all I really got to do is get, you know, the thing started that.
Yeah, well, just mess some people, see if we can actually, like, sell an idea or, you know.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do first.
If we got momentum, let me know, and I will try to put money towards to help out. I can at least do that.
You might not even need to put money towards helping out. If your credit's good, you could just probably go get a loan like I was gonna do.
I really don't like loans, I'm gonna be honest.
I don't either, buddy. But
I hate owing people money. No, but I don't know. I'm pretty in on cash, but I can probably help out. Donate a little there, a little there. And I'm in the so I might be able to get a decent loan if it's really bad, but it's gonna happen.
I don't think it would be really bad. I think it would come to a point like, okay, we have the game, we have the...
I mean, if we're desperate on cash, I will gladly do it.
I'm just worried about paying people's wages. I've never done that
There's
before.
gotta be a programmer out there who's just willing to help at first to see if we can get momentum, because...
That's why I'm sitting on all the Warhammer Fantasy and 40K forums right now for theory crafting, looking for...
What you could find is someone just out of college or around that stage, because then they need something to buff up their portfolio and make them look nice to get decent, jobs and shit.
Exactly. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for people that don't mind doing a little bit of work as a passion project, but I don't want anybody that's not familiar with Warhammer. If you're not familiar with Warhammer, I don't want you. Just because you don't get it, you have to understand Warhammer to understand Warhammer, and otherwise, it's just not going to be that popular.
Yeah. I mean, all I really do is help give you ideas, but that's pretty much all I do. I'm
You'd
pretty
be surprised
decent at it.
You'd be surprised how many video games start like that.
Yeah.
That's how a lot of games start.
I've played enough games of enough time to know what will be horrible.
The real hard part is getting people to getting the game to manifest. That's the real question.
Because all we gotta do is really take the best qualities out of so many different games, mush them together.
Yeah, that's pretty much. That's in effect exactly the truth.
And I really wanted an MMO, but to be honest, that'd be a lot harder and a lot harder to obtain.
If we wanted it to look good, I mean, granted, I could just go back and pretty much. There is the way of doing the low res, but if you're gonna make an MMO, you want it to be popular.
Yeah, it's the issue of when you have servers like that, you have to figure out a way to make it constant income, which usually ends up to, microtransactions, but that's never good. I like my soul where it is.
I agree. I like my soul where it is too.
I just really would love the idea of returning to Warhammer Online. I would love that. Or imagine one of the fucking Star Citizen but Warhammer.
Oh god. If that was even a possibility, I would probably shoot
It would. It would just not at our current stage. We wouldn't be able to afford that. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I accepted 2 quests and then I magically finished the 2 quests at the same time. Didn't even do anything. Just talk to the man. Oh, same thing just happened to this chick. What the fuck is happening? Yeah, let me know if you got momentum and I'll hit up my people, try to find some shit out.
Oh, of course I will, buddy.
I will rally the art students.
Rally the arts.
All I gotta do is juggle some dimes, quarters. They're all pretty broke. If you be an art student with money, then there's something wrong. They're a drug dealer or they're a prostitute.
So Wolf, I actually swapped. So I took my points out of the Elementalist tree, and I'll put them back in later, and instead worked down the Warlock tree to get that Dark Armor and Contaminate buff, the ones that buff your dots. And now I kill shit faster with just putting my 3 dots up than I can actually spend time to cast my missiles to rebuild my my charge, because now it makes all my dots use charge, cost 10 charge.
Oh, neat.
Oh yeah, but the only reason I thought about the MMO was to think of races, mini races and all that, and I was thinking about how I hate it when there's like mages or Jedis or any games like that where there's just hundreds of them. And I was like, Chronicles of Lyria at least got one thing right. Their way to maintain that shit. Their idea for it, if you've seen it.
Yeah, the problem is the game probably isn't going to get finished.
Yeah, so Chronicles of Lyria, their idea for magic and shit is it's random shit that only 5% of the server will get it.
Wait, so 5% of the server is just randomly chosen and given the opportunity to use magic?
And everybody's calling bullshit because it seems like statistically based off the beta, if you bought the super expensive founders packs, that you actually have a much higher chance to get it. And they actually went in and did all the math on the forums, and it seems like it's a lie. It's like 20% chance if you actually buy the super crazy founders one. Please continue, Leonard. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't mean to do that, but yeah, that if there was ever an MMO, that'd be the best way to do it. Cause I hate Star Wars, other Jedi every 5
It wouldn't work though, and people would quit the game. Nobody wants to play the game. Nobody wants to
Or-
play with
How
random.
about like Galaxies, where you just make it really fucking difficult to earn that
Gal-
shit?
You got to remember though, Galaxies was never all that popular. In its heyday, Galaxies only had about 250,000 players total. It's just MMOs were a niche back then, and not many people played them. Like nowhere near as many played them as today. So 250,000 was considered successful.
Just
Not
saying,
only
man, I
that,
have divine
not
power,
only
you gotta
that,
earn
but
that shit.
it's sad to say and it's sad to admit, but nowadays hardcore games just aren't that
They don't-
popular. Like Life is
Yeah, you
Feudal
can't-
is a fucking hardcore survival game, and it just doesn't work as well.
I
Its
don't mean
numbers
make the
aren't that
game
good.
hardcore. It's just when you
No, I mean
like,
have a high difficulty curve to attain something. Like, for example, raid gear in WoW has gotten so fucking easy to get, and if they went back to, say, vanilla days, where only, say, 10% of the player base actually got into raiding, and then an even smaller percent of that got, like, full raid tier sets, and when you saw somebody walking around in a tier set, it's like, oh my god, look at that guy, that's fucking epic. You think that sounds cool in your head until you're in-game and you realize, oh shit, I can't get this.
yeah, but so the way it worked in Galaxies is before you became a Jedi, you had like basic abilities, but you weren't really super advanced. You can get really good at melee combat, you just couldn't use like super powers and some shit in some aspects. That was the only difference. You could still play the class. It wouldn't like hinder you that much. Won't be able to like
You could also take on a Padawan if you were a Jedi. And
yeah, like you could probably do like there's something in Warhammer that would allow something like
But that's the thing.
Wizard
The
weird
Warhammer,
boys.
the Warhammer universe doesn't have like exclusivity like that. If in the Warhammer universe, if I want to go train to be a Bright Wizard, I go to the Bright Wizard Academy.
Wait, anyone can learn that shit?
Yeah, there is no exclusivity in the Warhammer universe.
I still think it would require training and time to learn that shit because
But
you
that-
don't
that-
learn like 80 Bright Wizards.
Yeah, but
Well,
that
that
just
defeats
that just sounds like, well, you have a level system where you start out, you're not that great. It's just a simple MMO leveling
It's not-
system.
it's just like, think about it. Like MMOs stopped doing that for a reason. It's because people found it more tedious than anything. It was cool back in the day when you went and did your mount quest for your fucking, paladin and warlock and WoW, right? That was cool. Except for to the 95% of the player base who couldn't actually do it because they didn't have the time. Unfortunately, I agree with you that it would be cool.
Oh my god, the
Unfortunately,
Warlock mount quest line back in vanilla, the Dreadsteed
Oh, yeah.
one. Oh my god, the time you had to
In
spend.
the era we live in, gamers won't pay for exclusivity. They won't even look at it. They don't care. It's all about making everybody have access to everything in some way with enough time, and how to do that right.
Yeah, I
For-
didn't mean like take 10 years to become a fucking wizard. I just meant
No, I
not
know.
like you're immediately a wizard.
I know what you're saying. You were like have like maybe a quest line or some way to go through it, but people would get fed up with that easily. The best example is
Yeah,
look
but
at
if you make it too easy, then it just kind of kills the game. Like WoW's
Not-
trying to dip a little bit.
Not really,
WoW is
not
WoW is still the highest grossing MMO on the market.
That is not the best.
It's a terrible example, but I'm not
Yeah.
looking to make myself or someone else proud. I'm looking to make money.
Yeah, but no, like I like when I say MMO, I'm not thinking like WoW or anything. I'm thinking more like
Okay, let's go by Warframe MMO status. That's not that.
Hey, hold on. Well, what I was thinking, like an MMO wise, like I rather have something closer to almost planet side, like where it's just very heavily PvP based. You can go do other things, go explore the world, but a lot of player on player action because
If that's-
fucking Warhammer.
If that's the case of that style of game you're making, then having any exclusivity would actually hurt the game popularity wise
Because
because
it
it's
breaks balance.
yeah, because it would break balance and people would complain like crazy. Oh, this isn't fair that this
You're
person.
right. Everyone should be a wizard that can burn half a fucking
No,
city
I'm
in
not
one
saying that.
go.
I'm not
That's
saying
what I
that.
mean.
I'm saying that in a PvP game, having any form of exclusivity of powers breaks balance and puts it in favor
Kill
of
the
people
game.
who can
You just- yeah,
essentially
you just
spend
kill the
more time or money to get that exclusivity.
Okay, how about make them very difficult to use without killing yourself, but very powerful?
Then you're just okay. Let me break this down. You're going through too many loops just to do a simple procedure. Games aren't supposed to be that complex. That's the whole point. How can I make a game that's good, fun, quick, and fast? I'm not looking to spend 2 years developing fucking game mechanics or systems. I agree with all your ideas. Like, get this, understand this. Everything you've said, I think that would be a great game to play. I don't think it would.
But
make
that's
any
because
fucking
we're the type of gamers that would enjoy that. But understand that we're in the vast minority.
Yes, the biggest minority possible of the hard.
Yeah, but most of the games I'm talking about don't even exist. There aren't even any examples. Most people don't even know how they turn out because everyone just goes with the common game that's out now.
But no, that's the thing.
There are games that do that, but they never get big.
And they failed. Yeah, they've all
Freaking
failed.
Life is Feudal, the MMO, is perfect example of the game
No,
that has a lot.
that is not.
That game
that's
has
right.
that is an example of a very game that requires a lot of time sink, a lot of effort to achieve small gains.
I'm talking about one thing. I'm not talking about everything.
No,
There's
I
a
know.
difference between getting something powerful.
No, but
and
I'm
get a
saying is that
stick
that
after 20
game
minutes.
that game lives by the mantra of effort for small gains, high effort for small gains, and then having sort of pride over those gains. You know, being able to get even just a basic wooden keep. How long did we take to do that? And we had help from people that were already playing on that server. I mean, it was something we were proud of.
I see what you're saying, Lynn. Like Magic, you know, like make it so you have to go to like an academy and like learn like a bright wizard would. But here's the thing, though, bro. If I'm like me, myself, and I, okay, let me take away my personality. I am, you know, I'm Superman, right? Let me just take Superman's personality. And everybody, you guys both know I'm really good at understanding personality, so let me switch those out. Okay, I'm Superman now. What's up, guys? You playing a new Warhammer game? That's sick as fuck. And then let me buy that fucking $40. Okay, purchase, download. I'm making my new character. Why can't I only play 1 or 2 classes? Oh, you gotta get in the game and do an hour-long quest.
There aren't even that many types of wizards. What the fuck you mean? There's plenty of shit to do. Like,
there was bright
like...
wizard, eye wizards, sorceresses, witch elves, goblin, gork, and mork. Are you kidding me, dude?
No, I mean, like, you gotta at least put a tiny bit of effort forth there or something. I'm not saying to spend days doing it. I'm saying
nobody wants to play a game where you can't make all the classes start. Nobody wants to do that. Look how boring.
You could play all the classes. You just have to work to unlock the higher abilities is what I'm saying. Yeah, look at Vermintide. You have classes you have to earn. But you have to grind like a motherfucker to get them all.
Not really.
It was boring. Unlocking the class everyone wanted to play was fucking boring.
I love that.
No, it was boring. Every one of us
was losing.
You were playing a class you wanted to, Len. You were playing the class you enjoyed. I didn't want to play Dwarf. Smeagol didn't want to play the fucking Human Warrior. We all got stuck playing classes we didn't want to play. Not only that,
I wanted to play the Witch Hunter, but somebody wanted it already.
Unit cap? Is that better for you?
What's that?
What? A what?
Unit cap.
What do you mean by unit cap? Do you mean that you're actually going to limit the amount of people who can play a certain class? That's going to be even worse, because it's basically first come, first serve.
Have you played Vietnam Rising Storm?
No.
Yeah, but that's a lobby-based map game. You're talking about.
I don't fucking know. You guys are crushing everything.
No,
because you're suggesting exclusivity in an MMO when exclusivity in an MMO has never succeeded except for the heydays of vanilla WoW and during the hardcore MMO days. These aren't hardcore MMO days anymore.
Hold on. If you release the Warhammer MMO,
yeah,
heavily PvP based, you had the options for wizard and soldiers and archers, all that. There would be 90% wizards and there would be no melee.
So wrong.
There'd be very little.
So wrong.
Have you ever played ESO online? All it is ranged
because
combat.
that game sucks and has terrible balance.
Because
everything you just mentioned is why ESO has terrible PvP. Literally, is because it has exclusivity in certain things.
What exclusivity? What the fuck?
You gotta pay for
classes.
Okay, let me talk without anyone interrupting you for a second. You gotta pay for vampire, you gotta pay for werewolf, or you gotta get it from somebody in game by paying for it. Okay? You want to get a new class?
For it. What the fuck?
Linark.
You played it. No, Len. You played it back when it wasn't viable. Now that it's viable, people demand money for that or in-game currency.
Linark.
How it used to be before it was viable.
You are a legacy account. You have a lot of different things because of that. Please understand this. I've already had this conversation with you. Your legacy account in ESO basically makes it so your experience applies to literally no one else. Everything you think about ESO is completely subjective.
No, I'm just saying, like, the werewolf stuff is no, because before you could buy it, people used to sell that shit. Now you can buy it, less people sell it for gold because everyone has it, so everyone just affects each other.
Because everyone paid money for it. And ESO lost more than half of its player base to the point where it has less than 30,000 active concurrent users.
Yeah.
For a AAA title, that's not good. That shows failure. When you're succeeding on console more than you are on PC, you have failed your market. I get your point. I agree with you. But you're wrong. In a Total War game, if everybody had choice between wizards, archers, and shit like that, I would never
I
pick
would
a
choose
wizard.
I would choose archers
I would be
or
fucking chosen, dude. Because
Well,
you know
there.
what? In Warhammer universe, there is no health bars. There's me running my fucking blade through your Bright Wizard bullshit and ending. Nobody would just all pick Bright Wizards land. Nobody would all just pick high mages. Some of them would, but that's why you make every class have 3 or 4 little trees that make it into something
They
else.
have to have some kind of downside, though. Having all powerful.
Every
like,
class in every game has some kind of downside.
No,
Chosen would just be
like,
slow as fuck, but they'd be tanky as fuck.
no, I'm talking
And
about
they'd
like
hit as hard as
wizards.
fuck. Bright
You can't-
wizards
no,
would be glass
wait.
cannons. That's what they're meant to be, alright?
Yeah, the downside is you have no fucking HP and you have a mana bar, dude. That's always been the downside of playing a caster. Like,
Yeah.
I don't. You literally just over.
Dude, it's just I've played a lot of fighting games where it's just certain ranged or overpowered characters are over.
With all due respect,
Good.
Berlin, and I mean this with all due respect, I've never seen you really be that high tier in any game we've played. So your experience is again very subjective. You know what I mean? That's not an insult, and you can't take it personally. Please don't take that personally. I'm just using it as an example. You're looking at it from, for all intents and purposes, a casual player perspective.
And yes, in the survival games we've played, ranged has always been a big thing, but that's survival games, that's not MMOs. In almost every MMO, mobility belongs to the melee, and mobility determines PvP.
Like, look at this game. Smeagol and I dueled the other day. We both got down to the same mount, but I smashed the shit out of him because he had no way to stop me from moving around, and I had no mobility as a melee because I didn't pick any abilities. So we were both fucking ourselves. Like, the best way to perfectly describe a game is to make it as simple as possible. No one is going to come play a game where you have to sit around and fucking break down shit for 4 hours just to figure out what you
Yeah, I
want to
know.
play.
Rift isn't that popular of an MMO because of there are a few meta builds for each class that work, and everything else doesn't work. That's just how it is.
Like,
And-
if you want to PvE and be whatever you want in Rift,
Yeah, you can do that,
but
PvP
but
wise,
you won't be as meta at the end of the game. And because of Rift's options, it pushes away more casual players.
Okay, so dropping that.
Well, we don't gotta drop. You had a lot of good points. It's just you were looking at things that were over.
No, I just mean moving on. I get it. Moving
No,
on.
I took some good information from that though. It gave me
Yeah, I know. I got you. I'm just saying. No,
Like,
but
good
yes,
perspective.
to Planet Side style.
Yes, the Planet Side style I liked, but you got to remember if you're going to make a Warhammer game, it has to be first and third person, or people are just going to get pissed off.
Yeah, I was thinking. I love chivalry combat. I don't
But
know why. That's like the only combat style that feels good to me.
No, I agree. If you took Battlefront and then the same concept of Planet Side, and then changed a few things, like Planet Side just added in the ability to make like outposts.
Yeah,
like play outposts.
Yeah, and my idea,
Go ahead.
my general spectrum. Hold on, the general spectrum for this was so there's a lot of factions in Warhammer, and it's really hard to choose like which ones to have. What you could do is you could have more than just 3, like a bunch of them. But you might not have enough players to man all that, so you could have some like AI soldiers as well, system combat.
What-
They'll just charge around, do raids.
if I could hop in real quick, when it comes to a Planet Side or any MMO, the more factions you add, the more races you add, it sounds awesome and it sounds cool. However, it's going to add more development time, more cost of production. You're gonna have to.
Yeah, I know what I mean. I'm just saying, like,
not
if you do
feasible.
like just 2 races, people would be upset.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
why
it wouldn't be
not
2
these
races.
guys?
If you did PlanetSide, I mean, any kind of world PvP, I would think 1v1v1, because people are getting used to the 1v1 or the 2 faction system, and it's kind of old at this point. And the 3 faction system adds a bit of dynamics to it. However, if we're gonna talk about what are the core factions in when you think Warhammer, you think Empire, Chaos, and at least me, I
Dwarves.
think Greenskin. Well, I would consider dwarves in the allied
Dwarves,
kind of.
orcs, humans, and chaos are
Yes.
the biggest. Yeah.
Yeah, and as much as it saddens me that we wouldn't include Lizardmen, they are not a big player.
Beastmen would be a nice tweak. I'm not gonna lie, that'd be kind of badass to play.
I really like games that include bestial races, but the core Warhammer fantasy that you want to stick to is probably, as you said, Greenskin, Chaos, Dwarves, Empire.
Yeah, it's just with chaos. Chaos is a very strange group because there's just so many fucking cults. It's hard to know which one to actually like have them more like or what to focus on. Unless you had like a sacrifice system where the players could decide what their allegiance will be to what god for like a month or so.
That gods would be something I think you would have to do at character creation, though, right? If I'm,
No,
it's not something that you can
know,
just swap
You don't
left
see
and right.
too many tribes mixed together with different gods. It's kind of rare.
No, that's not true. There's Chaos
Isn't
Undivided. There's Chaos Undivided, and that's led by Archaon the Everchosen. It's all the Chaos. Actually, in Warhammer, okay, in 40k, the Chaos Gods kind of like to fuck with each other a lot. Like, they don't like to work together that much. They just like to fucking like troll each other, basically. And like they get laughs out of it. And then in Warhammer Fantasy, the Chaos Gods do the same thing, but they like to work together a lot more because like the Chaos wastes around like everything. So what they'll do is like select a grand champion, undivided champion. And like what they'll do is they'll have a champion of Khorne, a champion of Slaanesh, a champion of Tzeentch, a champion of like Nurgle. Everybody will show up and they'll have a big fight. And that's the undivided champion.
Yeah, I was thinking like an altar system, like have the players sacrifice what they want to which god now kind of decide like what
you don't pick. You don't in terms of like if we're talking about like an idea, you don't pick what Chaos God. The Chaos God picks you.
Well, I was saying like what do you sacrifice more? Skulls or shit.
You wanted a system based on exclusivity. So here's my shot in the dark. Here's half and half. Here's an idea that might be fun and intriguing without too punishing. You're just talking about a favor system. You make all the bonuses from the favor system very similar across all the gods. They wouldn't be that much different, maybe a little bit more specialized. When you start playing your character based on what you do, that is what chooses a Chaos God to choose you as his champion or something like that, right? And then if you don't like that Chaos God, you can go through like a series of quests to essentially make a tribute to another Chaos God, hoping to earn his favor. Where it has a, you could say a 50% chance to work. That way it's not too low or too high.
You
it's
must
50%.
kill your own champion and sacrifice him.
Yeah, something like that, right?
That'd be a very good chaos. A lot in fighting.
It's not too, yeah, exactly. Chaos in fighting. See where I'm going. It's not too exclusive. It's a little bit of randomness. So what does it encourage? Making characters a few times over and again. But it's still a system that can be completely absolved by just making characters over and over again. So if you didn't get the Chaos God you wanted to start, and you really didn't want to deal with any of the bullshit later game, you could just remake your character a few times until you got the Chaos God you chose. And that may sound tedious, or some people may not care. Of course, the system could be modified, but the thing is, what do? We just made a slight amount of exclusivity that's unique to Chaos or that race without fully breaking the game or causing balance issues. Because all you have to do is make it so all those talents and traits are pretty much the exact same thing, copy and pasted, with different fucking names and maybe an end trait that is different. Like if you fill out the Nurgle tree, you get some like Plague Bearer ability where you can infect yourself and fucking explode or something like that. And just the last ability would be the different thing. That way each tree is the same, but you get a different ability based on
Can
what's
I
going on.
activate this rift? I just see a rift.
You gotta have a lure.
You're playing our...
How do I get one?
I don't know.
I don't know either, unfortunately.
I'm in a city right now, and I'm just talking to all these people.
I don't know. So yeah, my 3 current standing ideas are PlanetSide Warhammer, basically. fucking like a co-op or 5-player campaign kind of thing, kind of like Warhammer or not Warhammer, Mountain Blade Warband, or Battlefront. 40K.
I think that all these
Campaign.
ideas sound good, but again, we're adding the more complexity you add, the more development time you add. It would be
I'm just
easier if you
saying,
made your god selected at character creation, and then have, like he said, the same system or the same buffs as you rank up your
No, I'm
devotion.
asking what style, which game would we actually like to try to do?
Well,
and
I like the Mountain Blade style thing.
Mountain
personally.
Blade, definitely.
I
Okay.
think that would interest people because it offers the decision to make the game in a single player mindset or multiplayer. Hello.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
which? Hey, Wolf.
How you doing? Going where? Oh, the Easter thing? Oh, I don't. No. I told you that like weeks ago when you asked. I hate when people give me shitty looks for telling them I don't like or something.
Hey, Wolf.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Which idea of the other piece would be more likely for a company to actually be interested in? Because I could type out the idea tonight, maybe.
So I really like the Mountain Blade idea a lot.
No, I mean, which one do you think would sell if you're trying to sell an idea? The other two.
The 40K one, because there's a lot of companies that are trying to do 40K games right now.
How much detail do you think I'd have to include? I can type up like an idea.
I don't need the story or the lore. I just need the idea. So like, XXX, this is, these factions, these mechanics, these classes, and then you like could do like brackets off of each one of those and to describe what that means. And then like have a, the overarching point of the game, like across the top, the biggest, and do kind of like a tree, like a Venn diagram with trees, and just explain, like, okay, here's the name of the game, here's what it is, faction for whatever, and then underneath here's what it is. You do like, here are the factions, 1, 2, 3, whatever, and then under each one of those factions, you start to list out, classes.
I'm trying to think though, would it be better as a mass online game or like solo thing?
I don't know, man. That's where you gotta.
Battlefront?
I will judge what you give me and add and change things and talk to you about it when I get it, and that way I can get a better understanding of what the game would be. Because all we need to figure out is what it would be called, but who's in it and what's it doing.
You played Eve, right?
Did you just ask me that question?
Yeah, I did. Oh yeah, you're the one with the big fucking community. My bad.
Yeah, I'm the big dick Eve player, bro.
yeah. Okay. So, were there AIs when you guys had big ship battles? Like, were there AIs in fact that assisted in combat? No.
There are some PvE encounters like that you can do that are invasions, kind of like these rift things, but in Eve in certain areas, and they require lots of players, like hundreds of players. But there is no like, if I'm going up against like, if Goonswarm is going to go in on test, and we're about to throw down on Test Alliance, there is going to be no AI, unless you're counting like the drones or the ships, we're telling those what to do.
I'm just trying to think, like, how would the game work if you went, like, planet side? Would it be like a map, or would it be like a big-ass area? Or...
You can do, you know how planet side has, like, 4 planets. Just do one big planet. You don't need multiple planets to start.
Oh, like, now I think, Total War Warhammer, or not Total War Warhammer, Dawn of War, with, like, the 4 different planets, like a conquest.
It's too complex. You're getting too complex with it. All that information is pointless to me.
No, but you know what I mean, right? It's only like a handful of planets.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But, again...
No, I was just thinking too large scale. I just didn't think of it like that. My bad.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not bashing you. My voice is stern and I sound like an asshole a lot, and I will completely accept that. But I'm saying everything I was talking about with love and respect. You're on the right page, and I wish I could fucking be like, Linark, we're gonna take $2 million, we're gonna make whatever fucking game we want. That's what I wish I could do. But keep it small right now. Bring those thoughts down.
Win the lottery, bitch.
Yeah, you too. Go get some lotto numbers. You know what, Linark? I feel like you'd be the one to win the lottery. Fuck you.
I feel like by accident and like on my deathbed, knowing my luck.
And you're like, well, the one time I played, I won.
I'm putting all this money towards oxygen.
God damn it, dude.
I want to outlive my grandchildren. Okay, I'm gonna go Google Docs and type this up.
But you remember,
Google
try
Docs.
try and keep it small scale. So like, one world, quote unquote, with maybe like one very large map. Think Cyrodiil
Well,
size,
no, because I was thinking, what was
or
the
2 or 3
best
Cyrodiil
part?
size.
What was the best part about Battlefront 2? Go for it, guys. Tell me. What was your favorite
the
part?
Galactic Conquest.
Yeah, Galactic Conquest.
What was your favorite part about the game itself, though? Like the favorite aspect that was not in the first one.
Space combat, the ship to ship.
Exactly. That's why I
combat.
was saying all plebs, because it would be amazing to have Warhammer space combat, like little boarding and fucking each other up. It'd be beautiful. Like small space.
Wait, did
skirmishes.
any of you guys ever play Battlefield 2142?
Yes.
Do you remember
Yes, I
the map mode where you would each have like a capital ship and you would have to destroy its shields and then you would get on the capital ship and fight your way towards its center to blow it up?
Yes, I do.
Think that, but
That was-
planet
that
to
was,
space combat.
That was like the normal conquest game mode. Like you'd
Yeah.
have to like fight on the ground, and then once you push back all the points, then you could use the missile launchers that were attached to the points to nuke the shield of the
Think
enemy
that-
Titan. And
yeah, think
launch up
that.
to it. Yeah.
But Warhammer, and instead of it being in atmosphere, being in space. And you've got a map.
I mean, you could do it in atmosphere. It could still work technically.
Yeah, but I mean, it's space. People like space. Plus, that helps actually. That helps out with rendering a lot. When you're in space, you're not rendering a shit ton of stuff.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, because then you could do drop pods, space marines falling from the sky, like
Exactly.
rain. Yeah. Okay, I'll type up a small scale version of the game. It'll probably still be big scale because I have a big heart and a big thought.
And then we'll just tear it down on top of you. We'll.
Yeah, we're not
I'm not-
trying to break your ideas. We're just telling you why they would or wouldn't work in action.
Oh, yeah. So I'm not sure I'll set this up, so it might seem like rambling. I'll fucking like organize the fucking thing later, but right now, go type out the general idea.
Yep, sounds good to me.
Okay,
Wolf, if
Yes,
you don't
sir.
mind, well, I guess it's a little late to say if you don't mind. I've been recording since you came in, and I'll send you the video file if you want to upload it or not, just as like
Yeah,
a
I'll
rambling.
cut it up. I'll
Alright.
cut it up.
This would be an MMO, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Would
no,
it be an
it'd
MMO?
whatever-
No,
No.
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 It'd be, I'm sorry. I thought you asked me something else. If you're gonna just for the idea, it doesn't need to be described as new. I just need the game essential name, like just even a rough thing. It doesn't need to be final. And then the factions associated with it, the classes in the factions, and make it so they all have the same number. Don't fucking make it different. And then essentially what the underneath all of that, then you do like, the planet, the name of the planet they're fighting on. And you better go fucking look up a Warhammer planet, do your research on it. And then, why they're fighting there, what they're fighting over, and, what each faction does. And it's as simple as saying, planet clicks or dick, and everybody's here for resources because some giant fucking chaos warp storm happened and this planet just came out of nowhere and just manifested in the middle of the galaxy, and it's filled with all these old artifacts and relics that all the fucking factions are buying. Space Marines want relics, Chaos want relics, fucking Orcs want relics, because fucking WoW. That is just all. That's all you even need to say for the basis of the game. Is there's some cool shit here. This planet just popped out of the warp storm, just fucking manifested out of nowhere. Planet
Yeah.
that
No,
popped
I'm
around.
just thinking of a name for it now. What?
It doesn't
feel
have to be. You don't have to do
No.
like Warhammer anything. You could do something like just completely by itself.
I'm just thinking, what's a good Imperial word for drop
That's-
pods and shit, just full on hellish fucking just
That's something where you're gonna have to talk to TJ.
seems like a
I'm-
Space Marine thing. I don't know.
I'm more heavily versed in Warhammer fantasy lore knowledge. I do know a lot about 40k, but nowhere near as much as him. He would be the guy that would tell you if why there would would or would not be a reason for something.
Okay.
Are we done with this
Man, I
conversation, or?
I haven't used Google Doc.
I think Lynn's
Working on it
looking
now.
up stuff right now.
Alright, I'm gonna stop the recording here then.